Hello again, everyone. I'm your good friend, the Beta Guy, and I'm here to encourage you into some conversation, if you will. I'd like to remind you all that we are all part of a community, the YouTube community. That we give virtual community, I think, a little too much credit. The virtual space is given a lot more fear and a lot more power because people feel that it's a lot easier to be anonymous in online. I think people forget how easy it is to be low profile in the real world as well as online. For example, I can still remain anonymous and do weird stuff in the real world. If I go to, say, a park um, with a hoodie on and I don't know, a weird hat and started doing a weird little chicken dance or something, not a lot of people will probably recognize me because I don't normally dress in a chicken suit and wear a hat and do a little chicken dance. It's just as untraceable as, or just as traceable as the internet. I'm sure someone can follow me home, but someone can follow my search history and follow my IP address and stuff and probably find out how I live, where I live very easily if they really wanted to. But it's not unfounded though. I mean, uh, only the internet do you have so many uh, such animosity within a community. The difference between an online community and an offline community is that I think I think it comes down to etiquette. Maybe as an example, you're in a book club. If say Judy, who from the book club started saying Lord of the Rings, she doesn't like it or whatever, people would begin to damn me if I then started saying, "How dare you? Lord of the Rings is the greatest thing on earth. How very dare you, you bitch, some motherfucker, blah 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 blah." It's a little socially unacceptable. But if it's or on an online space, I could get away with it a lot easier, and I would also meet other people who, because it's also a popular opinion that Lord of the Rings is a good piece of entertainment. I'd have a lot more support in that, and Judy, from the book club, would then be the one who is being frowned upon. That I think is where the anonymous nature of the internet gets its power. When you have a screen name, such as myself or the Beta Guy, it's a lot easier for me to say what I want to say. Even though, like I said, it is probably very easy to figure out my real name. Because I'm going through this little facade, there's no kind of mental barrier stopping me from saying what I want to say. The interesting thing as well about the anonymous nature of the internet, particularly with Facebook, a lot of social networking communities, they're not as, I guess, sociable, as foreign as people might think. Who do you have as a friend on Facebook, but you don't know? I mean, there are people who I have on who I don't really know, but I've at least, seen their face. I recognize them. And there's this weird fact about social networks. These little things which are marketed as a way to meet new people and make new friends. It's not really how it works. It's kind of the opposite, if anything. You don't meet anyone new. You kind of stay within your own circle of friends and kind of close the gate on that. When you signed up onto Facebook, what was the first thing you did? You found out which of your friends were on Facebook and you added them as your friends to kind of get the ball rolling. Speaking as someone who's been using Facebook for many, many years now, I know everyone on my friends list. There's no one who's a stranger on my friends list. I've made no new friends on Facebook. There's no real networking. There's no networking in social networking, really. Anonymity and screen names kind of comes back into this. When people are using their real names, it's a lot harder to approach someone. Speaking as someone who used to play a lot of MMOs and online games, I'm constantly talking to strangers on that, and it's not advertised as a social network. It's advertised as just a game, as something to pass away the time. People consider video games as this awful antisocial kind of shut-in thing when can guarantee I am talking to more strangers than you have talked to an entire week in that one like little day of me playing, because I'm constantly talking to people who I have no idea where they're from. Probably look nothing like their characters. I'm pretty sure there aren't. The goblin I'm talking to isn't actually a goblin playing the game. I'm pretty sure that Falzar the Black isn't actually his name. There's kind of this equality. You're on equal footing, and that's a lot easier to approach as opposed to someone who has or would have their full name, and it would just be a human character as opposed to a goblin or something weird, right? Because then they're kind of taking it a little more serious than everyone else. It's a very fragile kind of illusion. I think this idea of social networking. I mean, hell, MySpace. I mean, that was the place to be. Like just maybe 5 years ago or so, MySpace had as many users as some small countries, and then just completely disappeared off the face of a planet. That's terrifying. You have these people who are meeting each other for the first time purely on MySpace. Those links are gone. If they haven't, taken that step into, emailing each other or meeting each other in person, that's it. I suppose the moral of the story for MySpace, at least, is, go out there and make real friends. Or, if you do meet someone on the internet, get to know them in real life, get a cup of coffee with them. I mean, it's inconceivable at the moment, but Facebook could just as easily go away. Everyone thought MySpace was invincible and would be there forever. We're coming to a point where the internet is being given too much credit. I'm gonna sound like an old man here, but it's kind of true. You can still meet people in real life. It's a lot harder, I'll admit. It's a lot easier to meet people on the internet, but if it weren't hard, everyone would do it, and we'd all have 50 million friends, and we'd all be happy and jumping in rainbows. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Post in the comments below if you think maybe I'm wrong, or if you completely agree with me. Maybe the internet is completely justified in giving the internet this much reverence and power. But yeah, please do make a conversation about this, and I'll see you next video.